Seniac, let's not get rid of the rocks. They're part of the natural landscape. Seniac proceeds to bulldoze a forest for big buildings. Trees! Am I a joke to you? Seniac places massive buildings next to the airport. Me. Makes perfect sense. Seniac, always saying at least in every episode so far. If that makes sense. Me. When do we get t-shirts? If that makes sense. Lol. Seniac deletes trenches of war history to build a road. Also Seniac keeps stones because he likes nature. Fishtown has high-tech fish? What has Fishtown become? This smells a little fishy. Guys! Welcome back to another episode of Fishtown here in City Skylines, where yes, we do now have those high-tech fish. It has happened, boys. We have officially peaked. We built our kind of brand new IT cluster, which is providing a load of high-tech industry jobs for those smarty pants, because they do say if you eat a lot of fish, you get smarter. And these peeps have been eating too much fish, if you ask me. Guys, welcome back to another episode. If you are enjoying Fishtown here in City Skylines, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new here, then make sure you subscribe so you're notified if any episodes come out. Now, something did say about having the airport close to those buildings. Look at the runway. Nowhere near these buildings. We're all good, boys. We're all good. But today I want to try and go a little bit left field. I'm not going to do any kind of building in a sense of trying to grow population, jobs, all that kind of jazz. I'm going to go left field for a second and take a look at infrastructure. Now, for the longest time, look at our public transport network right now. We have the ability to get to Humpback Island from either driving all the way around or going by boat, by ferry, and quite recently going by the subway line as well. Now, I'm going to go completely left field altogether and build an underground tunnel. Now, you're probably wondering, yo, Seniac, aren't all tunnels underground? Yes. Yes, they are. But, you know the highway that tears through the middle right now? Now, this can only be accessed, see, it goes all the way through here and down to there. It can only be accessed by either coming through this kind of section there to get into it, and it exits here. Now, I'm going to build an underground tunnel, like all tunnels are underground, from Humpback Island that connects to that tunnel. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be able to cross back and forth by that tunnel, thus making the subway and the ferry line redundant and creating mass confusion and panic with traffic going back and forth. It's not going to happen. That's solely because that underground highway tunnel there can only be accessed via this point or this point. So someone from here wanting to get to here, it makes more sense to get on the subway or the ferry line than driving all the way up to go into the tunnel, to drive all the way back down, to cross back out. You see what I mean? So we're giving them options that they can pass through, and it'll be really good for the industry. Industry to get to Humpback Island, because at the moment it has to drive all the way up, go all the way around, and then back down. And I don't know if it'll be any beneficial for people entering the region. Rather than going down here to get down to here, they could hit the tunnel, bam, straight up. So we're going to see what happens. It's completely left field. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to solve any problems or make any more problems, but that is all going to be part of the fun. So I've got a little section I want to use. We have this little kind of weird section here which has got nothing in. We're going to try and utilize this and redesign this whole section. Now, a few problems that are going to arise before I get into it. One, we have freaking trams running through it, so we have to integrate the tram system within this kind of underground tunnel section too. We have a tram stop, so I might either have to push them back or just kind of get rid of that one altogether. Probably might just get rid of it altogether. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to have to pause the game because I'm going to have to delete stuff and it's going to break things. So delete all of this. I'm going to have to delete all the buildings for just a tad minute so I can see what kind of space we got to work with. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it here still arch round and bend, but we make it go underground and have the tram lines running either side of it. Well, at least that's what we're going to try and do. So we're going to try and replicate something very similar to our little squid junction here. where think as this has been that kind of two-way road with the trams in the middle, gets to this point here, the tram roads or tram lines separate, the underground tunnel begins, and down the side, the tram lines continue to connect back up, you see? And then what we might have to do, if I can't integrate roads to go parallel with the tram lines, we have to create maybe a little one-way loop system here. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. I was looking at this though, and we can set up a two-lane one-way road system. I can set up a one-way track system, but you can't really set up a one-way road, one-way track system, if that makes sense. It's either 2 lanes or nothing. So we might have to kind of roll with that and see what happens. So should be fun. Should be interesting. It's probably going to cause a lot of headache and a lot of umming and ahhing, and probably at some point a lot of deleting as well. So what we'll do then, what we'll do to make it kind of easy, we'll kind of replace it back down again. Where is that point for that? Excuse me. So that's where the road is. I just want to kind of throw it down like this so I can then upgrade it to our 2-lane highway. There we go. So I know where the bend is taking place, and if I kind of leave that one in to there, this one is the one that's going to go underground. So actually, not make it go underground just yet. Normal, go normal mode, please. Alright, and that snaps to there, and it would go in like that, but obviously we're going to make it as a tunnel. And so at this point, we make it go down by -15. There we go. That's kind of how it's going to work. Now, there's still a lot of things that we kind of need to do, so I'm going to delete this little patch just there, so we have the alignment where the road is going to bend round. We just need to make sure that this road... Hold on. No, that's not the road. Right, get rid of trees. Might be easier for tunnel mode. No, we should be okay. Why is it still not moving? Why is it selected right now? Ah, there we go, there we go. Let me get on. There we go. It's moving. Trying to get the land a little bit more flat. Sweet, mate. Sweet, sweet, sweet. We're looking at it of all different kinds of angles right now. Okay, so that happens underground. That's glorious. Perfect. Perfection. We are then going to get out of underground mode, go back to the tram system here, and that would then, if I can get this just right, this is actually going to be a real pain to try and get this done. We might have to get rid of you. Maybe to there. And then this would have to go to there where the road cuts down. But it's going to be really difficult to kind of switch out the tram line, because the tram line is in the middle of the road. Right? So we're going to have to do something that kind of puts it on the outer of the road. Now this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really... Actually, to be honest with you, we might be able to do it with that single lane. Where's that single lane with the tram? That's the trolley buses. 2-lane tram there. On the one-way tram tracks there. So let's say I had this. Again, this is going to be a lot... We're going to have to use the move it tool quite a bit on this one as well. So if I had that go to there. Had that go to there. So let me just kind of like very loosely build this. Right. Okay. That is actually going to work. That will actually work. But let me... Well, I say it's going to work. It's going to be a huge pain, to be honest with you. Right. So I'm going to come out to there. I'll do the same for this one. Like that. Right, so the tram line can switch. I gotta flip this one back around. There we go. Tram line can switch over. So the issue you have then is some of the lanes have to cross over, but that can also parallel this way. We might be okay for what we're trying to attempt to achieve. we might be okay. And if I then just do something as simple as this, it could work, but we're going to have to do a lot of bending with the Move It tool right now. So I'll set the lane dictation soon. Let me just sort this out. So if that went up to there and that kind of bent down, that bent down, that came in a little bit maybe. Same with this one. Right, hold on. Push that back a bit more. So have more of a kind of bend with these guys. This is going to be very interesting, this whole little section right now. I can then keep the tram stops either side there, which would work. I could keep those in. So the whole thing is happening on a bend, which makes it really difficult to kind of adjust slightly. And if I just quickly sort out the lane management right now, where that is obviously going this way, that is obviously going this way. The trams go the way they go. You know, there's no difference there. This here, if I just naturally... You can't even make it normal, can you? Right, bam, that way. Right, that there, that there. So that would go straight down to there. You're straight down to here, straight down to here. And that's pretty much how it's going to work. You can only enter and exit the underground tunnel from this point, this side here. You can't come down and switch and go around because that would cause traffic issues. And I'm trying to keep all this normal. So it is quite difficult to get it to behave the way you want it to behave. Right. So if I put it into play mode real quick right now, I wonder if the tram stops. If I move that to there, will update themselves to understand what they can do at this point. So we'll fast forward, and they should be able to go down said routes. But for some reason, it doesn't want to know. It might take a couple of stuffs to happen. Oh, it could be to do with this, to be honest with you. Is it because the way that kind of lent off it? That lane? If I put it there, if I dragged it there, it kind of seems to work. That can't go any further, so there's something wrong happening here as well. Do you know what it is? It's because that tram line here can't switch over to there, which creates the issue. So then if I move this, just put it there and then flip it back to here. Yeah, keep that one there. Then that works. That then works. So let's see how things go. So it's a little bit mental, a little bit weird how you have to kind of switch it from the outer lane to the inner lane. Hold on. Yeah, I'm about to say, there's no way we can flip it on that side. Like have the... If we could have the tram on this side, that would be perfect. But it don't work like that. It don't work like that, which is actually quite a shame. Because then that system would be almost borderline decent. But that's what we've got to go with anyway. That's just kind of what we have to put up with. Now, in terms of zoning, you can still zone around the whole little section. So that's pretty cool as well. I might push this up this way a bit more. There we go. Because in terms of the zoning, it just kind of fills up that dead little space a bit more there. And for the most part, that's working, right? That does exactly what it needs to do. I can see an issue being here right now with people crossing over, so I might have to implement like what we did over here with these little walking overpasses, which have solved a lot of our traffic issues. Probably going to have to implement one there. More than likely I'm going to have to. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to. What we'll do as well, to utilize those tram stops as well, we'll place a little path cutting through on both sides. There we go. This way it gets utilized a bit more. Create a nice little walkway through the middle. Well, that's going to be handy. That's going to be handy. And I think then, we're ready to hook up that road as the highway. So actually, before we do that, let's finish up with the zoning. So we'll finish up with the high density commercial around this section. High density residential gets finished up and added in there. So the buildings will just kind of naturally build as we finalize all the rest of this. Then that highway underground. Let's turn the anarchy off. And we'll try and connect it somewhere centralized. You can't see that, can you? Hold on. No. So we'll try and get it somewhat centralized. And I think we'll pick... So it comes up to there. We'll pick this point over here. So if I take it from there and then push up to here, it doesn't delete anything, does it? No. So bring it to there. Let me delete this little bit just there. We'll create a nice little bend. Now, I don't expect to see too much traffic on that. So I could argue that I can do a very simple junction. But you never know. You never know how that's going to go, do you, to be honest with you. So I might as well just do a... And we're going to have to anarchy this onto it right now to pass through stuff. So a connection there like that. And a connection there. It is what it is. It does create two stopping points potentially, but hopefully it'll flow the traffic quite nice. And we'll have to give it some time as well to start using, understanding that exists. So I think a couple of vehicles are now using it straight away, which is pretty good. Alright, can I angle that over a bit more this way to reveal a bit more zoning? Pause and let me delete. I didn't realise how much I've compromised here. There we go. So at least we can get like a skyscraper in the side just there. That will be handy. So that gives Humpback Island right now technically a road connection leading over to the main island. But obviously it only pumps out over here or up here. Now that's great for these guys wanting to exit the region because they can hit the tunnel, shoot up the highway and scoot straight out rather than cutting through all this. Might reduce some traffic leading through this island over here as well. But we'll see how it goes. Parking restrictions. We've got some parking restrictions on here right now. Let's get rid of them. So it might pump it over to the car park over there. We'll get rid of the parking restrictions just on this road here and here. And we're going to have to do a little overpass as well. Now... do I copy it from over here? I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna right now. So I'll try and take as much as I can. And duplicate. Yeah, you get the whole thing. Nice. So the metro stop is on this side. So if I drop that, I have to pause it as well because we're going to have to do some monstrosity of bending some paths. Right, that's there. Get that just to here with a slight bend. Get that to there with that bend as well. And that's how it should technically work. And then all we gotta do on the junction restrictions he say you pretty much can't cross. Okay. And they should all... Oh, snap. We've deleted some zoning. Right, hold on. Boris. So where would that have taken... Oh, I've got to push this right over, haven't I? Do I get my zoning back? No. Damn it. Right, I have to push it right over. Let me push it right in then. Do I get it back now? No! How freaking dare you right now? Look at the amount of people using this, by the way. Right, how dare you get rid of my zoning? But that's okay, we'll kind of keep it there for a minute. So you can see the traffic already building up. And for some reason, they're turning off here. Weirdly. But that is causing a lot of traffic now, isn't it? So this, I'm not saying it was a bad idea, but, you know, at the same time... Yo, Siniak. Oh my good god. Yeah, I didn't realize there was going to be that much traffic using it. It probably definitely is a bad idea. But it's weird, though, because it only comes from up there and down here. I'll have to sort this out as well. Got to sort some traffic issues over here right then. So, of course, there's a few little problems. That's not too shabby. So, allow the vehicles to pass through. Lane management's like that. Got ya. So I could set it up where you can only do a left turn there and then go straight on. You can only go straight on here and do a left, well, which will be a right turn, not a left turn, sorry. Where did I get left turn from? No idea. And because of the type of junction that this is, you can only do these type of turns full stop. You'd have to make your other turnings further on or somewhere else. That will kind of initially make our... Is there traffic lights on? Yeah, there was traffic lights on. Well, that ain't good. That's not helping anybody. That ain't helping nobody right now. So that might solve a few... Oh, is there traffic lights here as well? Yeah. No wonder we got issues, boys. And there's going to be traffic lights here as well. I might as well just keep the traffic light button on. Oh, no, there's none. Okay. Okay. So it leads to more stuff happening up here. I should just quickly get rid. So really, it just pushes the traffic confusion from this one up to here. Now, do you have many people crossing the road? We do have a few. So then would it be ideal to place another one of these here? Maybe is the question of the day. Maybe. Maybe it might be a good idea. I'm trying to kind of gauge the traffic. I mean, I can just push this straight section all the way up to there, thus utilizing more of the outer roads more. So if I did that as well and said, yo, that's only straight on, that only turns. We'll do a simple one of these back and forth. And again, I'm only really then pushing it up to this one. But it should separate some of the men from the boys. And initially, why? I don't understand as well why do some of them choose to turn directly there. Is there another? No, there isn't. Weird. Weird. So what is the underground section here like then? It's not too busy. Consider how much of a shambles that section is there. We will change it, don't worry. It won't be staying like that. But consider how much of a shambles it is. There's not too much traffic leading onto it. It's just getting the initial traffic out of the underground tunnel. And thus moved along on their way. So if it comes out like that, that ain't too bad. And it's kind of now seemed to have settled itself down. There's still 101 improvements that we can make on it. Definitely still a lot of improvements. But it ain't too shabby. I don't know how I feel about this one though. This kind of whole junction. It works for some vehicles to pass through. It really does, but it's more importantly used for the trams. For them to pass through as well, so we're keeping that public transport alive. A lot of people are using this because they're coming from the subway stop just there. We have vehicles coming out. I think we're just initially going to get traffic here, there and everywhere anyway. Now, do we have traffic lights? Where? Here, get rid of them there. And it seems to have cleared itself up, to be honest with you boys. It seems to have cleared itself up. For now, I'm going to keep this little triangle in for the moment. Because there's no point me doing something like elaborate, creative underground when this kind of does work. So we'll keep it to that for the most part now. There's not really many issues over here at this minute. I could add in another crosswalk over the top as well there, which would be handy, but we got the majority of it all set up there anyway. It's a weird one, isn't it? Definitely is, but some time has now passed and things are looking up. Do we see less vehicles over here now? Yeah. Oh my god, you definitely do see less vehicles. I was wondering if we start to see more traffic around this, considering now it might be, it's going to be very beneficial to go down here. You might even get people coming down here to go around the roundabout, to go back up, to go down that tunnel. Definitely going to have a few people that are doing that. It just helps out a little bit. Service vehicles, garbage vehicles. Gets them over here a whole lot quicker. Yeah, I think, as weird as it is, it's worked out pretty well for us. And if that wasn't a fluke, I don't know what was. I don't know what was. So, how is the traffic now settling then? Oh, wrong button. Traffic. Still pretty fine. It's 85% flow. We have traffic worse in other areas. So that's not really much of an issue, is it? Not really. I mean, there's like traffic over here apparently. Between 85 and 84%. Mid-80s is definitely really good. Definitely really good. There's a lot of traffic over here for some reason as well. Now, is that because people are crossing the road? It's down to the trams and whatnot. Yeah, that's what that traffic would be. So it's, if it is like people trying to cross over and whatnot and do things, I get it. Some real bad traffic here right now. Now, not every vehicle here is wanting to go straight into there. So there's got to be something that we can do here. What if I said, or what if I made that also able to pass in? Does a few vehicles go on the outer side? One did, but is he going straight on? Yeah, he's going straight on. So we've got to figure out a way to kind of get these guys over. What if I did that? I know I've just completely messed everything up. Hold on. If I crisscross them like that, do they get them in going in the right direction? Let me get rid of this one. Are they, weirdly enough, it's kind of filtering them a bit more easier. And it's keeping the ones that need to kind of go in a different direction on the outer side of the road. And then really only cutting in the ones that kind of need to export, which has cleared... weirdly enough, guys, it's kind of cleared it up a bit, the backlog. So hopefully it'll push that around a bit more and keep it more free-flowing. Now, this can lead out to that area, that export area over there, and it can hook us up to exit the region as well. But it just amazes me how many vehicles want to use that. It's crazy, isn't it? It really is crazy. Because then they could almost drive over there. I wonder what would happen if I created a road connection leading up to it. That would be kind of interesting too. But it seemed to have fixed something. The backlogs are starting to die down a bit. So as everything that would scream in your head, you're saying, don't do that. That doesn't work. The backlogs are starting to clear. They'll never clear because it is the export area and there's like 101 gazillion amount of trucks jumping onto it. But it done something. It improved it slightly. Not saying that our average traffic flow is going to go up a bit. If anything, it's gone down. But you never know in this game. You just never, ever know. I wonder as well if we made these one-way roads going in that way. How that would change things up. So, it won't do it by much. Really, it just kind of wouldn't. But I wonder what happened if I pumped the vehicles out. So they couldn't come back in and turn. I mean, that's definitely something that we could test. So if I made all vehicles go out, will it then slow them down coming back in, or will that just create more traffic somewhere else? Well, yeah, that's a good point there, what they've just done. They've just literally gone up there to turn around to come back down. Right, if I delete that... just get them all pushing and flowing out. I know it's going to push the traffic somewhere else. Ultimately. Yeah, ultimately that's pretty much all it does. But if I got rid of the traffic lights here and kept them flowing, I mean, it's died down a little bit. And they're coming back in slowly but surely. Roundabouts are getting a little bit more busy. Yeah, I don't think we'll go down that route a bit too much. What if I made only that outer one be the one that they can turn in on? It ain't gonna work either way. Right, bam, in you go. You know, I'm surprised I haven't turned this into a one-way road. Oh, no, not underground. Because I can then lead that on to being, you know, you're only turning that way. And that also turns in that way. And then that only goes, well. Should that be one way as well? I feel like that should be a one way as well. But then, this is that one. That is that one. That is straight on. So it gives you your lanes that you kind of need to be in. Get rid of that. That might help out some of the trucks a bit better. But ultimately, there is like a ton of trucks want to get over here. So you're not going to win until you can like start to claw away some of these peeps from exporting, which then might lead to questioning, yo, Seniac, what if you dropped an export area here? Right? Now it's a little bit out of the way, These are one-way roads. Might not work out too well. And then we just simply, for the purpose of it, hooked it up like that. I know it's not the best of connections. Has power. But let's just see what would happen. Now, it probably would be ideal for me to make this then the two-way road, because then vehicles coming down here could maybe go up into there. But they might start coming down here and pulling into this instead. We'll see what edge it takes off. Because technically it's going the same direction. It's within a certain area of it. That could be interesting. Could be interesting. So what I'll do then is we'll upgrade this back to that style of road so they can literally come in and turn and go back round. And yeah, should just give it some time then to see if they do start using that. Can drive out, yeah. So it's a really weird connection. If that kind of takes a little bit of the edge off some of this area, then that's pretty good for us. I'm just waiting for a vehicle to turn in. I'm just wondering how long it's going to be till we see one. There we go. Okay, we had a couple of vehicles now using it. So it might, like I said, it might take the edge off it. I might kind of upgrade that road as well to, like, you know, the back and forth road, to be able to might be able to pull in some peeps that way. Again, we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Leave it to that anyway. So, how is the traffic now over here? Still holding up? Yep, still looking good. Not really any issues. So, in terms of infrastructure-wise, it just adds to it. Are we still seeing a lot of people using the ferry system? 306. I mean, you could argue it's gone down slightly, but there's definitely still people coming in and going to it, as you can see. Hooking up to the tram line, all that kind of jazz. The subway line, which has got loads of people still using it. People walking across the bridge. The hustle and bustle of these areas look really good. There's definitely a lot less vehicles now driving around here. You can tell that straight away. But let me have a little bit of traffic up here at this point. Right, they're driving around there to go up to there. So why don't I reposition this to there to drop a back and forth road in just here. As a way to cut through the middle, so peeps could get to that export area if needed. Yeah, traffic's definitely died down then. So we are getting a few people using this one. Definitely are. You see there's that couple of trucks there driving straight into it. So every vehicle that uses this is not using that, which is one less vehicle, if that makes sense. Got to sort out that junction. It is kind of a mess right now. But I think next episode then, we're going to go on to working with more expansions, getting more growth. There is some death over here, which is not looking too good. Where's the better crematorium? It was the advanced one. Yeah, the better crematorium over here. We have a couple over here, but it definitely ain't feeling too good down in this area. Right, I'm going to drop in that there, just to utilize a little bit more of that area, because there's really not really much going on. There we go. That should handle that then. So yeah, we're going to go back to the expansions and hopefully get everything all connected up. Get some more growth over here. We have a nice little demand for the industrial side of things. When it comes to the industrial, in terms of money that we're making from it, 28% of our income comes from the fishing industry. Ooh. Well, I might say you could argue that, well, to be honest, we got nothing coming from the unique factories. So we're going to try and spark and increase that a bit more as well. That'll be handy if we can. So now that we've got a little bit more leeway, we now technically have more capacity on the roads. So we could throw down a few more buildings here and there to create more growth. But we want to try and keep it away from this little section. Start working more on this area as well. Kind of get this rocking and rolling. There's no storage for commercial goods at the minute, which shows us that there isn't enough fish being caught from the sea. So we have to also bump that up in the right direction. Do we create another industry area somewhere else as well, maybe? That might be a good idea. But for now, guys, we're going to end it for here. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, good. Bye-bye.